Hey, small group leaders. Welcome to this week's tip of the week. This week's tip comes from the book 99 Thoughts for Small Group Leaders. I'd love to put this resource in your hands if you don't have this one already, but I'd love to share with you a tip that I've learned that is actually pages 81 through 83, and that tip this week is how to handle discipline. Discipline is not something we often find easy when it comes to correcting somebody else's kid, but at the same time, students actually do like boundaries. They like to know how to please you. They want to know how to do well for you. And so here are a couple of things that I can say to actually discipline appropriately when it comes to getting a kid right on the correct path. Number one is to determine who really needs to be corrected. You know, a problem can be from a group, small group, the entire group. It could be a small group within the small group, or it could be the individual. I would say, if it's an individual, always address just the individual, not in front of the group, because otherwise you could be actually giving them the attention that they really seek. If it's a group of people that are causing the problems, talk to them after the group and bring them aside and say, hey, look, this went on during small group and this is not appropriate. If it's the entire group, discuss it with the entire group. I would say if the problem is distractive enough and it's just one person or maybe one or two people, then have your co-leader. The co-leader can take the cue of, hey, look, this is getting out of control or whatever, and the co-leader can say, hey, look, Amy, why don't you and I go get some water real quick? And walk down the hall, and as you're walking down the hall to get some water, don't go behind closed doors or anything, but talk about the inappropriate behavior and how it's really being distractive. Number two, be very clear on what they're doing wrong. Help them to see that their actions are actually detracting from the small group, that there are things that you want to get accomplished in the small group and that people may not actually want to go deeper because of their actions that they're taking. Number three is to show grace. Be strong and be firm, but follow it quickly with extra love. Tell them, you can never do that again in this small group. I love you, but that was really inappropriate. Make sure that you let them know that this is not just about what they're doing wrong, but how you want them to do better. So show that grace to them, that you love them and you want to see the best thing for their life. Number four is to actually look for and encourage correct behaviors. Like I said earlier, kids actually want to do well for you. Despite what they may say or think, they actually want people who are pouring into their lives to like them, to love them, and sometimes those things that they're doing that are inappropriate are just calls out for attention. So make sure you look for when they're doing the right thing. Don't just tell them what they're doing wrong, but say, hey, instead of saying stop talking, you can say, hey, why don't we stop talking about this particular subject, and why don't we answer this question? What do you guys think about this? But make sure that you are finding what you want them to do. And the last thing is to follow up with them. For 1 week, it might be a difficult road to say, hey, look, you got to chill out on this particular behavior or whatever it is. But the next week, during free time, make sure that you go over and talk to them and see how their week's going, and just see, hey, are we ready to have a great small group tonight? Can you help me out with that? One of the greatest things that I really enjoy doing is to actually talk to the most distractive student before the group even gets started and say, hey, I need your help tonight. Can you help me have the best small group ever by getting everybody on the same page? Or, hey, let's try to make sure we limit, everybody getting off on rabbit trails or whatever. And they'll help you. It's really cool how that works. Win them over to helping you out with that. Proverbs 15:31 through 33 says, if you listen to constructive criticism, you will be at home among the wise. If you reject discipline, you only harm yourself, but if you listen to correction, you grow in understanding. Fear of the Lord teaches wisdom. Humility precedes honor. Let's all be humble enough so that when it comes time, God can be honored, even when it comes to discipline. I hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care.